The first-year mayor of Louisville, Kentucky has a $22 million deficit and fewer federal taxpayer dollars. For any mayor these days, that's par for the course. On the other hand, Louisville will be getting more than 1,000 new jobs from General Electric, and the city is putting a new emphasis on health care. I spoke with Louisville Mayor Greg Fischer last week.
It's all about jobs, 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 as we well know. Louisville is home to more headquarters in the lifelong wellness and aging care space than any other city in the world. Companies like Humana, Kindred, Almost Family, Signature Healthcare just relocated to Louisville, so we're on quite a roll there.
So you've got a number of corporations with headquarters and operations in Louisville. You've got Yum Brands, you've also got some of the FedEx facilities there. Why specifically are you trying to court healthcare?
Well, healthcare obviously is a growing sector, especially this particular area of lifelong wellness and aging care. Unfortunately, we're all getting older right now. So the question is, how are we going to live as we get older? You can think about the retirement home, if you will, but there's a lot more to it than that. It's pharmaceutical care, it's active living when you're aging as well. So there's all types of new concepts coming up in this space.
And what would make Louisville the logical point of incorporation or headquarters for some of those companies? Typically, they want to be around a university or around the population that they're trying to serve.
Well, we have a great university with the University of Louisville, but really the nexus is Humana. Humana is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year, Fortune 100 company. So out of Humana in the healthcare space, all types of concepts have come about. Kindred was one of those.
Now, you've got a $22 million deficit. You've been on the job 5 months or so now?
4 months. Veteran.
4 months. 4 months, coming up on 5. So what is your plan to try to close that gap? Because are you, when you're talking to these companies, also trying to incent them with some financial packages here?
A little financial package, sure, but Louisville's rebounding at about an adequate pace to be on track there. But we're taking a look at all of our expenses, as you can well imagine, and taking a look at some of the costs that continue to rise every year, like healthcare. So we're hitting it on the expense side, a little bit on the revenue side, but we'll be fine.
What is it that you can offer a company besides being around Humana? What else is there?
Well,
I mean, are there tax incentives? Are there certain subsidies?
Sure, our tax incentives are competitive with anybody in the country, but in Louisville, really, we focus on the areas that we are the best in the world at, which is this lifelong wellness and aging care, logistics with the headquarters for UPS, Global Air, manufacturing, GE and Ford are great corporate citizens for us as well. So there's several areas where we feel like we're best in the world. We go after those companies primarily, but then anybody else, if you're looking for great quality of place, cost of living that's on par with anybody in the country, and an educated workforce, we've got it in Louisville. And most of all, we got a place where you can live. It's not so big that there's all this friction to get around. Metro area is about 1.5 million, so we have everything that a big city has, but a feeling of a small town. You
also have 10.2% unemployment right now, so you've got to create these jobs while you bring in these companies.
That's right.
And incent them to hire locally. How do you do that?
Well, it depends on what sector they're in. Obviously, on the construction side, that's fairly easy. We just completed the Yum Arena, $250 million project, and we had a buy local phase on that, and also minority business participation, so that's easy to track. Then we work with our universities to make sure that they're creating the pipeline for the type of jobs that are coming in, specifically in healthcare. So we hit it from a couple different approaches.
Yeah, and convince those companies who are moving there not to bring too many of their existing employees.
Well, we love for the intellectual capital to come in, because that frequently leads to innovation, but then we need to have the workforce locally to help them as well. That's a planning process we do with these companies.
Now, we're talking so often these days about cutbacks at the federal level, but state governments, as you well know, have had to undergo some belt tightening as well. All of that means that what gets funneled down to municipalities is getting smaller. At the same time, that tax revenues, in some areas they might be going up, but you've got a tighter coffer to tap into there.
Well, we have 5,500 employees. It's about a $500 million general fund. So while we're tight in some areas, I want to invest in other areas. We have an innovation office that we're starting to fund here, so we can take a look at areas that are unique to Louisville that we can grow jobs around.